We bought this F-body Firebird roller for $1,000, and since then, it's been our project drag car. Now, we ain't made of money around here, so we do everything ourselves. That way we can spend the cash on the parts that matter. I'm Josh, and I like whiskey, and I like going fast. And you're watching High Noon Racing on YouTube. Welcome back to the garage. Today, we are diving deep into the world of 3D printing, where creativity knows no bounds, and innovation is at your haunts. All right, so now that I've officially talked your ear off, if you're still listening, that's good news for you, because now it's time to actually do something practical, and it all starts with an idea. So you get an idea in your head, then you go and start kind of getting more ideas, then you get your tools. Got your writing device, does not have to be a fine point Sharpie, it's just all I could find. And notebook, doesn't have to be a notebook either, it could be literally a piece of cardboard. And you got to get your measuring tools. So we got our tape measure and our calipers, and then you need your parts you're going to be working with. So for this idea, I'm trying to show you the practical uses and kind of how it's up to your imagination. You could design it, you could 3D print it, it'll work. I'm going to show you that. And yeah, so here's my idea. This is our yard card. We built this so that we could bring literally an entire MIG welding setup and mechanics toolbox through the yard on these wheels. And yeah, there's legit a chop saw. I mean, there's literally everything you could need. Mini compressor, mini vacuum. You roll that through the yard to your car and you work on it, or down the driveway and you work on it. It's got a nice little vise, got literally an argon bottle. It's kind of proud of it. I like it. But anyways, so our yard card in the yard gets a little bumpy. All right, you know, there's a little wibbly wobbly. Now, y'all know me, sometimes late at night I get a little wibbly wobbly. But I had it one time where my boy Chuck came over and we were pushing this doggone thing, and it was going through some ruts, you know, and it started slinging stuff clear off of the work surface up here. Now, the one thing that went flying, it was not okay, my drink. And I know half y'all are asking, why do I have this pink cup? Well, it's the biggest cup my wife has. I can make a big ass drink in it. So right now, my idea of what we're gonna design and 3D print and test, and I'll show you, that way y'all get the whole shebang, is a cup holder / bottle holder. It's going to be standard to hold a handle of wild turkey because, well, I like wild turkey, and it'll hold this cup too. And on top of that, I don't know if this cup has a cover, so we're going to print our own cover, little dust cap. I guess we'll have to make a hole for the straw too. Didn't think about that, but yeah. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to start taking measurements. I'm going to show you the measurements, show you what I'm writing down, back in the air conditioning, onto the computer, and you guys are going to get to watch as I design it. The software I use is free. It's called Fusion 360. It may not be free anymore, but if you have a student account, it is. Now, I don't know if I did that. I might have got grandfathered in, but I'm just saying, just kind of throwing that out there. I don't know. It may still be free, but anyways, I'm going to show you the process now, start to finish. We've got the idea. Now it's time to measure, put it on paper. So first thing is I'm thinking I'm going to mount it in this region so it'll sit a little bit lower. It's got to clear these cords. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a simple measurement to make sure that it will clear the cords. So I'm going to look straight down on top of it to kind of get an idea how much room I actually have. It could be wider than this. The mounting spot might just be on this. So let's just go all the way over to there. So we've got at least, at a minimum, 10 inches. We'll call it 10. So we know we got 10 inches. Now we need to check. The idea I had in my head is these would be side by side. So let's just measure them side by side with a little bit of space in between to make sure they'll fit in 10 inches. So put our pretty pink cup. Make sure to give it a little bit of a gap. Need some clearance. We'll measure from one side to the other. Look at that, 9 inches. So this might come out a ½ inch of material on the outside of each side because we are at 9 inches out of 10. So that leaves us with an inch. If we divide it by 2, that'll give us a ½ inch over on this side of material and a ½ inch on this side. So we're looking good so far. So we'll just kind of jot that down just so we have it 10 inches wide and 0.5 on the sides. Okay, next we need to kind of start getting an idea of how much material we are going to use. So you could totally print something that consumes this entire thing up to here, but that would take absolutely forever. It'd be a waste of material too. So I'm thinking somewhere in this vicinity should be enough to hold us over, like hold this stuff steady. So right there, my pinky was at that little point on the turkey. So we'll measure from table to that. It's like right at about 5 1/4 inches. Now we're going to start kind of drawing it. So we'll draw. Oh yeah, I'm not an artist, by the way. Okay, so you guys know. No disclaimer there. So the part's going to come to 5 1/4 inches. So that's just so I can remember it. So yeah, that's our bottle of Turk-X, it's like, or Turlex. All right, we got 5 1/4 inches. So now we can keep that in mind. Now what we need to do is, we know we're going to go 5 1/4 on the cup too, so we don't got to worry about that. Next thing we're going to do is take some base measurements. Get the diameter of these guys. Now, this one has a convex shape type deal going on. We'll get to that in a second. This one looks more like we can get away with a cylinder. So I'm gonna take our calipers here, fire them up, take it on millimeters because we are American, and we will zero it out. Now, real quick, there's 2 sides to this, okay? Now, it's gonna be gross, but I'm gonna show you because I want y'all to know how this works. So one side is for measuring outside. The other side, those pointy guys, are for measuring inside. So if you get in there, I don't know if it's gonna, like that. So that'll give us our inside measurement. Ironically, it's just over 1/4 inch for the inside measurement. But anyways, that's another little tip on how these tools work. All right, so we're gonna need that straw measurement too. Actually, I'm glad I did that. So we got to make a hole for the straw. So we will measure the outside of the straw. And remember, we don't want to clamp down too hard because we don't want to force it to be smaller than it actually is. So if you rotate it a little bit, kind of hard to do with one hand, but we're going to want to get on it. See how that measurement's bigger because this straw is oblong. So we're going to call it 0.320. We're going to give it an extra thousandths. It was 0.319, but it'll be fine. And we're going to add to that anyways for the 3D print. Probably add 5 to it, 5 thou. Stay on the tighter end of things, and you'll see why later when we print it. All right, so we got that. We're not going to deal with the convex shape just yet. Now we're going to get the ass end of this bottle. So I'm going to attempt to use my calipers first. I'm going to bring them way on out here. Okay, and I'm going to have to shift some things around. You could easily take a tape measure and just run it across and be like, all right, well, that's 4 and almost 3/4, right? Or you can take your calipers, right? Put it on that bad boy. Start going down. What you're gonna want to do is kind of like get it to where it's snug and just pops off. So like, I barely took it off there. So our measurement is most likely 4 3/4 inches. It's probably 750. So we write that down. Now we're gonna get the base of the cup. Now, I'm gonna have to set you guys down to get this, but what I'm gonna do is pick up the cup, the calipers going this way on it to get the measurement so it's more accurate. All right, so take our calipers. You won't be able to read them just yet. And we're gonna go just to where that flat spot where the calipers go flat touch. We're gonna start tightening it a little bit, and then my wife's gonna hate us, but we have to kind of work it back and forth till it pops off. Once it pops off, we wanna go back to that spot. hang on, I gotta be able to see this thing. Okay, we won't be able to use the whole flat spot deal. We gotta use the edges. So we want it to just slide off of this, which is technically a bigger measurement, but that's okay because 3D printers are not accurate, so we need more clearance. So we came up with 2 inches and 915 thousandths. So we'll write that down real quick. And we will most definitely be adding probably 12 thou to that. That's not 12 thou, that's 120 thou. But if you add a 0 right there, it's 12 thou. All right. My printer is a little bit tighter on tolerances, so I'm not going to the full 15 yet. All right, next, these are pretty much the measurements I need. We know that we need to stay within 10 inches wide. Let's measure how tall, because we already know that we're gonna be 5 1/4 tall. So we got up to 8 inches of real estate to screw into. So we'll just write that. Up to 8 inches. Turn these bad boys off. And last thing for you guys, we need, hey Char, you find some wood screws. Char, you see my wood screws? No? Pretty sure they were just like right there. Oh my God. All right, and we need a hole for our mounting points that will allow this to screw through, this guy here, but this head will not. So super simple on doing that, and especially because it's a screw, we're not gonna add or subtract any kind of extra clearance because this will just burrow its way through plastic. We're just gonna measure right there, the daggum shafts, right? So it's 0.150. If it's 149, then you can pretty much guarantee yourself it was probably 150. So 0.150. Oh yeah, this is an awesome one. All right, 0.150 screw hole. I always try to give myself an image because it just helps me think. All right, so 150 thou screw hole. Now we have everything we need. Now we're gonna go to the computer. So now we're gonna go design. So we ran out of filament, threw on another spool, and we're back at it. A little, you know, a little different color here, but that's okay. That's okay. 99% complete, 24 hours and 50 minutes. Whew. All right, well, while this is finishing up, let's see how long it takes to design something and time it. Then, you know, this will be done and we'll throw it on the printer, and then we'll show you that too.
brought to you by a PEI build plate.
Look at that. Perfect little seal on there. Fantastic. Now we got a nice new addition to our yard cart. We got a dust-proof whiskey drink and a whiskey holder. Pretty amazing. So we in this process we skip prototyping, which is something you should definitely do, especially if your print is over 24 hours. And we got lucky because it was really tight on the whiskey bottle, like really tight. Now that could have been a number of variables that caused that. There's two seams in there. Seams are something in 3D printing where if it's going around something, it has to have a point to create a seam where it starts and stops on different layers. So you're gonna have it. There's ways to move the seam to like the outside, but I didn't do that. Just kind of printed it and went with it. So we got our SICK lid, keep dust out, a little incognito logo there. Got our little whiskey bottle. Yeah, this thing is tight on here. Got our little whiskey bottle on the straw, keep the dust out of the straw, and we got our whiskey bottle holder. Now this is PETG, which is probably not food safe, so you guys should look into how to print food safe stuff if you're thinking about doing stuff that's going to be in contact with your drink or food or anything. Just don't go making whiskey glasses and thinking that you could drink out of them. You can't. I mean, you can. I mean, you can't kill a Spartan, you know what I'm saying? But I would definitely research some of the food grade, food safe filaments and printing techniques. Because, you know, there's oils and stuff, and the PTFE lined Bowden tube goes to the hot end of the printer, stuff like that. But this was a fine example of taking an idea, a little concept, and making a practical part out of it. And you could do this with anything. Sky's the limit. Just get an idea, design it, prototype it, print it, get it right. Hell, if you want, sell it. Do whatever you want. Make your stuff look cool. But I like it because it's dirt cheap. It's cool. Definitely rewarding. Like, I found this little whiskey bottle design on one of the many free websites out there, and I just took it, took my measurements, made a hole right in the center, perfect to snug up around that straw as a dust cap, made it go like an inch in basically, and now we got a little whiskey bottle dust cap. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're enjoying this series, definitely let me know in the comments below, because if not, it is a ton of work to make these videos. I didn't realize how much work it was going to be, but while we're saving cheddar for scoots, these are simple things I can do. Don't cost me no money, so I can save up cheddar for the few remaining parts on scoots. We got a couple more, so going to be a couple more episodes of building on scoots. Then there's going to be a lot of episodes of dialing stuff in, and then there should be some episodes of us blowing that engine up, you know, just foreshadowing. Probably won't blow it up right away, but we're definitely going to be using the hell out of it and having a good time at the same time. I'm staring at this transmission as I talk, and I know it's shaking right now. It knows what's coming. It just got a nice little rebuild, so it knows what's about to go down. At least this time you don't have to push 700 pounds around. It'll be way less than that, so this is retirement mode for you. You'll be good, and when you're not good, you'll be good. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Next episode in 3D printing. If this video gets good feedback and people are liking it and whatnot, I'll start getting into like how to design and then printer stuff, how to print. So let me know. Dropping these 2 videos. Spent all weekend working on these, so if it gets good feedback, we'll do it.